All right. So this is episode 2 of the micro goals playlist. So make sure if you're on YouTube, you're watching this on YouTube, go under my playlist and look under micro goals series. You can save it. You can go back to it just like you can with any of the other ones, ego, death, self-love, like they're in a series, in a playlist on there. It's a series. So you can watch them in succession. So with this episode now, if you haven't seen the first one, you're going to have to go back there so you can understand the concept of micro goals, why they're mandatory they just have to happen, right? Like that is the foundation of success. So you're going to have to go back and listen to that. So, but if you've already watched out, now here we are. I want to give you what the foundation of how you're going to start to structure what your goals are. Okay. And this is your micro goals. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's starting a business, if it's building a house, if it's losing weight, if it's saving money. Doesn't matter. The end goal of this isn't important to me. But I want to give you the concept of it. So take one goal. It doesn't have to be some big over the top thing. It could be cleaning a bathroom. It could be organizing, whatever it is. And just put that on a piece of paper. You're going to need paper and pen for this. Don't do this in your head or put it on your iPad or anything. Paper to pen. So at the top, you can now remember each goal. Okay. You're not going to put a to-do list together on one page and micro goal it. It's never going to happen. You might take 20 pages, 50 pages for one goal. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what your goal is. But it depends on how big it is, how intricate, how complex it is. So let's say, I want to give you a real life example. So let's say it's starting a business. I don't know. You've decided that you make these pop socket wallets, which, by the way, total side note, not sponsored, is I love these little wallets. I actually have this in my little like tripod thing, but it's great because it holds like your cards and you can change these out, but you slide them right on. But anyway, just a side note, I got it on Amazon. Pop socket wallet. That's what it is. Oops. And then I drop them. They're slippery, slippery little suckers. So, but let's say you're the person who says, I have a great idea and I'm going to create a pop socket wallet. Okay, great. Well, first of all, why do you think that we all need it? Well, because it's really cool. We know the pop sockets are really cool, but sometimes you don't always have on pants or shorts. So you want to have somewhere where you don't necessarily always want to carry a wallet or a crossbody or a backpack or, anything. So you're going to create something where you can put, and I can put actually 3 or 4 cards in here. So it like expands a little bit more, but I have 2 in here. And it's like, great. Okay. So that's a really good concept. Now, in your mind, sometimes you're going to be like, yeah, it's going to be great. Okay, I know what the design is going to look like. And then, I wonder how much I'd sell them for. Yeah, we're not even there. I don't really care about your marketing right now. Nobody even cares about that. That's not where we are. Yeah, we're going to get there. So what you would do is go, okay, so let's say you were creating pop sockets. Okay. We'll think of the name in a minute. Like we're not there. So you say, okay, what's the functionality? What would be the audience? Well, people who have smartphones. So you know that you have a really big, broad audience. So now you would be writing that down. Okay. Well, where are you going to sell it? Like you're going to sell it online? You're going to sell it in stores? Well, you can't just say, I'm going to go sell it in a store. There's a process you have to go through. You have to talk to buyers. And by the way, you're not going to be able to create this business on your own. So while you're thinking of everything that you're going to make, how much money you're going to make, where you're going to put them, all that stuff, you can't do it by yourself, right? You can't. So you might have to clue somebody else in. Okay. So this is where you go, okay, well, it's probably going to take a little bit of money. So I'm going to need a little capital. So how would I raise my capital? Right now, you're just jotting down ideas. Okay. So you don't have to have a micro goal yet because you got to put down what your plan is. You got to spitball it onto your page. You say, okay, well, I'm going to, maybe the name comes to you, but that's not important. But I want to say that just, okay, pop socket sounds cool. See if it sticks. Write it down there. You write 15 other names down there. Not the most important thing on the planet. Actually, quite not most important at all. And then you say, okay, well, this is what the audience would be. This is why I think it's functional, because if you're going to come to me and ask me for capital, $5 million, well, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. Okay, well, like it's like Shark Tank. You've seen Shark Tank, right? That's why some people are like, yeah, this sounds like a great idea, but I'm out. Like they haven't thought it through. They're there just trying to get their product like picked up, but they haven't done the legwork. And there's a reason why people go, and we might sit at home and go, oh my God, that's a great idea. I'd get in on it. And they're like, yeah, that's not going to work for me. And you're like, why? Because they know what they're talking about. So there's going to be a lot of questions. So as you're putting this business together, you better be writing down, okay, if you're going to sell it, what kind of liability do you have? Look up your state. So now you're going to have to do some research. So you're not going to just jump into the research. Right now you're thinking of it. Research, business requirements within my state. If I'm selling online, what are the business requirements there? What kind of platforms do I want? Where do I want to take my monies? Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Zelle. I mean, I take them all. So, but each one is going to take a percentage, right? So you're not just going to be like, oh, great. Venmo doesn't necessarily, they take a small percentage, but you still have to pay taxes on it as you do PayPal, as you do Stripe, as you do them all. Okay. So you're not going to get around that. Okay. Unless Billy down the street gives you $20 for a pop socket, fine. But as far as a long-term thing, you're going to have to look this up. Now, that's fine that you have your names, but what's your tax ID going to look like? Do you want a business partner? Well, now you got to talk to somebody. Now you got to look for investors. Do you see how intricate it is versus just saying, I'm going to start this business of pop sockets because I think this is a good idea. Now that could have overwhelmed you, but it shouldn't have. Because if your motivation is to make a difference and make something easier, it can't just be about money. If you are starting a business, if you are trying to lose weight, go to the gym, all that stuff, gym can't be about losing weight. Eating better can't be about losing weight. Starting a business cannot be solely about money. Yes, you want to have money because that's how the world works that we live in. Okay. But you cannot just go into the business for money because you will lose all inspiration, motivation. You're going to lose all of that because you're going to be like, oh my God, that's just too much work. Oh my God. Okay. Then it's not that important to you. If you're looking for those fast fixes. So number one, get clear in that. So now let's say you're like, okay, I'm all in. Now you got all these things written down. Now your first micro goal is to write it all down, right? Not worried about when you're going to start it, when you're going to launch it. Nope. Just writing everything down. That might take days. Because you're not just going to sit there in 10 minutes and get it done. You have to spitball it, think about it. Okay. Now, the first thing is research. Okay. So now you don't just go, I'm going to research. You say, okay, on Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Yes, you got it. Not only do you start it, you got to give yourself a cutoff time. This is not the world of perfection here. Perfection's fake. So you would say, okay, this is what I'm doing from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So from 7 to 9, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to research. Well, what are you going to research? You can't just say I'm going to research. That's too blanketed. I'm going to research business requirements within my state. Great. Online business requirements within my state. So you Google your state, business requirements. Now you're going to go to the small business and you go to the SBA, the Small Business Association. You're looking, what are my requirements? You're writing those down. Do you see what I'm saying? So this pop socket business might take you 2 years to get off the ground. Might take you a year, but it's not going to be a month. Not if you want it to be adequate. So as you're micro goaling and you're going down this list, and again, this is just like starting a business. This could be with anything, saving money. Okay, you don't just go, okay, I'm going to go get an IRA. Okay, I'm just going to go drop money in stocks. Well, no. What's the return on your IRA? What's the CD amount? What stocks are you getting into? Ooh, maybe you want to talk to a financial guy. Maybe you want to talk to a stock guy. No, it's not just like, ooh, I'm going to go buy Apple stock. You got to stop looking at that end goal. That's where your overwhelm is coming from. Okay. So now going back into this business thing, as you are writing down all of this research, now you just started researching business requirements within your state. Yeah. And now you have 87 more things that you got to figure out. Oh, okay, I better talk to my lawyer about this. And then, okay, well, what does this happen? Okay, well, if I'm selling international, what kind of taxes do I have to pay? Yeah, you're still just on the research here. And you got to put it in your scheduler. And it can't be just on a fly on the whim. You gotta micro goal it and be specific. So you're taking away this overwhelm and this decision fatigue. You gotta take it away. All right. So without that micro goal, your goal is your desire, your goal over here is just wishy-washy in a dream. So this is why you might see somebody start a business and think, oh my God, that was such a good idea. But you don't see the backstory to it. And you're going to constantly be micro-goaling. You don't just start this business and then that's it. They're not just sitting back going, okay, cool, got it. Well, now they're like, okay, let's see what's working, what's not working. Let's micro goal it. Let's look at our sales this month. Okay. Where were the most sales? Was it online? Was it in stores? What does this look like? What do we need to do? That's why you get overwhelmed, because you're not willing to pump your brakes and put in a structured plan. So that is going to be your thing. Whatever your top goal is, if it's saving money, how do you plan on it? Well, I'd like to save $1,000 a month. Okay, how? Well, I'll just take $200 out of my check. Okay, cool. And then where are you going to put it? Well, I'll just put it in savings. Okay, well, there might be other places that you can put it. There might be a CD. There might be, I'm pretty good with business. Like business is another big area of mine. So you got to know that. But until you're willing to map it out, to do it slow and steady, to research micro goals, not let's hurry up and get to the finish line. Never that. So your baby steps, the mundane things, the annoying things, the things that take time, the things that are obnoxious, the things that seem stressful, that's where you put the baby goals. The baby goals, that too, but the micro goals. So that is the foundation of that.